UTC, can you hear me? Is it working? UTC. It was. UTC. Now we got it. Ooh. UTC Occupational Therapy Doctorate Class of 2024. Families, friends, members of the faculty, and staff, good morning and welcome to the Whitecoat Ceremony for the Class of 2024. Today we mark an important milestone in our students' lives. This event is intended to mark the entry into the clinical portion of their OT education. This induction is just one part of their journey that will lead to several decades of competent and compassionate occupational therapy practice in the state of Tennessee, the nation, and perhaps the world. We welcome parents, partners, spouses, friends, and colleagues, and other friends of the occupational therapy program. We also want to welcome those who are joining us virtually today to celebrate our students. We know that occupational therapy school is a team effort and you can't do it alone. Thank you all for your contributions to our students' success. Members of the UTC OTD Class of 2024, welcome to your Whitecoat Ceremony. You certainly entered this program in an interesting time in history. Never in my professional life would I have imagined being involved in a pandemic. We've been involved with COVID-19 for quite a while, and our world was turned completely upside down. But you've demonstrated flexibility and resilience during this time, and I want to thank you for your patience as we all navigated uncharted territory on your journey to becoming an occupational therapist. During your journey, you've participated in active and interactive learning using modern technologies. You've been guided and supported by well-prepared faculty. You've been part of small groups, learning communities that have all helped you sharpen your skills in collaborative learning and teamwork. You've participated in clinical experiences in metropolitan and rural areas of the state. You've worked with accomplished and dedicated occupational therapists who serve as volunteer faculty. Your OT education has been carefully designed, and it's intensively managed and rigorously monitored by excellent occupational therapy educators and its seasoned team of educational professionals who are among the very best in the country. Thank you to our faculty who've been so dedicated in getting you this far in your education. For you, this should culminate in an experience that will provide you with a balanced and superbly suited education for the 21st century occupational therapy practice. Our goal in this program has been to walk with you as you become compassionate occupational therapists and be well-prepared, self-directed, lifelong learners. As you all began your clinical work this past year, you entered the history books. You have, and you're making history because you started your OT education near the end of a catastrophic global viral pandemic. We can pose the question, is this the first time OT's been involved in a pandemic? Well, no, not really. When we look back to 1918 and 1919, when more than 15 million people died from the Spanish flu, the answer to that question is in our OT history. So remember that first semester you were here and you learned that history? In 1918, things were very different and in many ways incomparable to what we have just experienced. But if you recall, your first semester in OT school, the founding meeting for the National Society for the Promotion of Occupational Therapy was held in 1917. In 1918, 4 women were sent to France as neuropsychiatry civilian aides to help World War I soldiers recuperate from shell shock and war neurosis. And 5 women were sent as reconstructive aides to work with soldiers with physical injuries. That same year, Eleanor Clark Slagle taught at the first professional school for occupational therapists. In 1918, OT schools opened in Milwaukee, Boston, Philadelphia, and St. Louis. Our health system is very different, and educational system is very different from 1918. But the world of OT did not stop in the previous pandemic, and we didn't stop this time either. You are involved in the most sophisticated healthcare system in the world. You should be prepared to deal with the next pandemic or health crisis that may occur in the future. Many of you have been able to witness the front lines in fighting this pandemic in the past few years. This pandemic has provided you with a front row seat to a public health crisis and how OT is a critical part of that effort to quell this and future viruses. Occupational therapists have used their adaptive and creative problem-solving skills. They've come together to advocate for the continued value of occupational therapy and recognize that this challenging time created new opportunities for occupational therapy practice now and in the future. So now I'd like to share a little bit about the short history of the Whitecoat Ceremony. It was created many years ago by the Arnold P. Gold Foundation that's dedicated to fostering humanism in medicine. Presently, over 90% of medical schools in the United States hold Whitecoat ceremonies. Schools of pharmacy, dentistry have also initiated their own ceremonies, as have schools of occupational therapy and physical therapy. You all are all continuing the tradition of participating in the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga's Occupational Therapy's Whitecoat Ceremony. The initial purpose of the white coat was to protect the patient and the physician from cross-contamination. The coat went on to become a symbol of the authority of science and the art of healing. There are multiple meanings for the white coat in the context of this ceremony. This ritual occurs at the beginning of your clinical education in occupational therapy. We hope you will become aware of your responsibilities as you become responsible for the treatment of your first patients. This ceremony is intended to impress upon you the primacy of the therapist-patient relationship. You're encouraged to enter into a psychological contract in which you accept the obligations inherent in the practice of occupational therapy, to be excellent in science, to be compassionate, and to lead lives of dignity and honor. It is designated to clarify for you that an occupational therapist's responsibility is to take care of their patients and also to care for your patients. Today, the OT faculty that will cloak you with a white coat are giving you a gift of faith and confidence. Faith in your abilities and confidence that you will represent the values of your profession. Dr. Stephen Angle, the Chancellor of the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, was scheduled to speak to you all today, but he is unable to attend. He has a funeral came up this week, and he's not able to be here, but he certainly sends his regrets and his congratulations to all of you. But I would like to introduce the Dean of the College of Health Education and Professional Studies, Dr. Valerie Rutledge. We see her a lot every time we have food, right? She and Dr. Angle were both instrumental in getting the occupational therapy program here at UTC. We're happy to have her address you today. Dr. Rutledge.
I know we are here today to celebrate those of you who are about to put on your white coat, but I want to share with you 3 things that I think are important. Number 1, you are a part of a program that was among the very first OTDs in the United States. The foresight of a former dean and of Dr. McDonald and others was, this is the direction to go. And so you're building on the history that was created just a few years ago. And that makes us extremely proud to be able to cloak you, but also to send you out once you're finished. Second thing, I bet if each one of you who are in this class about to put on your white coat thought back, there is some event or some person or some influence that caused you to decide, this is the profession I want to go into. It may be that you had a family member, it may be that you had a friend, it may simply be you learned a little bit about the profession and you decided, I think that's where I want to be when I finish my education. So I would congratulate you on making that decision and on making your way very successfully so far toward the end. The last thing I think is not only important to you, but probably to those who have supported you, whether it's parents or friends or spouses or significant others, because this is the job prospect, which is always the end goal, right? So it talks about, when I looked at occupational therapy, it talked about the project or the projected growth for the future and said, it is a part of the healthcare industry, just as Dr. McDonald mentioned. The demand continues to grow. And the United States Bureau of Labor Statistics said through 2030, the profession is projected to grow by a minimum of 17%, which means you're going to have lots of opportunities, you're going to have lots of choices to make, and when you go out there, you're going to make us extremely proud that you're a product of UTC. So congratulations.
And now for the class of 2024. Hannah Offman. Rachel Bragg. Hunter Brandon. Hannah Carvel. Cynthia Coronel. Caitlin Crump. Chelsea Cutler. Katie Lancaster. Libby McClure. McKenna Menard. Caitlin Murphy. Nick Overton. Raven Smith. Caitlin Springer. Jenna Stork. Christian Thomas. Kirsten Todd. Mary Tolomeo. Sam White. Courtney Yarbrough.
Hello, class of 2024. Will you please stand for the reading of the occupational therapy oath? We'll recite these together. From the privilege and rights of the occupational therapy profession, I hereby pledge to hold my knowledge in trust for the good of those people whom I serve. Therefore, I will endeavor to keep both the profession and the occupational needs of the clients and communities I serve foremost in my thoughts and actions. Deliver occupational therapy services that demonstrate excellence at all levels of care while valuing and honoring diversity and respecting others as equals. Advocate for needed services and the rights of clients regardless of the constraints I may face. Strive to always act in a manner that is consistent with the philosophical base and values of the profession by holding the Occupational Therapy Code of Ethics, abiding with those in the need of care, even in the face of personal risk, and upholding the dignity of all human beings regardless of their condition, and model and foster leadership and facilitate personal and professional growth for myself, profession, and in others. With this privilege, I freely accept the responsibilities that accompany the profession of occupational therapy. Thank you.
Good chiming of the bells. UTC OTD class of 2024, I'd like to talk to you about the white coat you've just received and the symbolism we have given you of faith and confidence. Faith in your abilities and confidence that you will represent the values of our profession. I'd like to address these values with you today. The core values of the occupational therapy profession contain the key values you're being asked to adopt today as you have taken the occupational therapy oath. I believe these values constitute a contract for care with each person for whom you take professional responsibility. The following 7 core concepts kept in the front of your mind during all your patient interactions will facilitate you providing the best possible care. The first one is altruism. That's the unselfish concern for the welfare of others. And this concept is reflected in actions and attitudes of commitment, caring, dedication, responsiveness, and understanding. Equality. Equality requires that all individuals be perceived as having the same fundamental human rights and opportunities. And this value is demonstrated by an attitude of fairness and impartiality. We believe that we should respect all individuals, keeping in mind that they may have values, beliefs, or lifestyles that are different from our own. Equality is practiced in the broad professional arena, but it's particularly important in day-to-day interaction with those individuals receiving occupational therapy services. Freedom. Freedom allows the individual to exercise choice and to demonstrate independence, initiative, and self-direction. There is a need for all individuals to find a balance between autonomy and societal membership that's reflected in the choice of various patterns of interdependence with the human and non-human environment. We believe that individuals are internally and externally motivated toward action and a continuous process of adaptation throughout the lifespan. Purposeful activity plays a major role in developing and exercising self-direction, initiative, interdependence, and relatedness to the world. Activities verify the individual's ability to adapt, and they establish a satisfying balance between autonomy and societal membership. As professionals, we affirm the freedom of choice for each individual to pursue goals that have personal and social meaning. Justice. Justice places values in the upholding of such moral and legal principles as fairness, equity, truthfulness, and objectivity. This means we aspire to provide occupational therapy services for all individuals who are in need of these services, and that we will maintain a goal-directed and objective relationship with all those served. Practitioners must be knowledgeable about and have respect for the legal rights of individuals receiving occupational therapy services. In addition, the occupational therapy practitioner must understand and abide by the local, state, and federal laws governing professional practice. Dignity. Dignity emphasizes the importance of valuing the inherent worth and uniqueness of each person. This value is demonstrated by an attitude of empathy and a respect for self and others. We believe that each individual is a unique combination of biologic endowment, sociocultural heritage, and life experiences. We view human beings holistically, respecting the unique interaction of the mind, body, and physical and social environment. We believe that dignity is nurtured and grows from the sense of competence and self-worth that is integrally linked to the person's ability to perform valued and relevant activities. In occupational therapy, we emphasize the importance of dignity by helping the individual build on his or her unique attributes and resources. Truth. Truth requires that we be faithful to facts and reality. Truthfulness or veracity is demonstrated by being accountable, honest, forthright, accurate, and authentic in our attitudes and actions. There's an obligation to be truthful with ourselves, those who receive services, colleagues, and society. One way that this is exhibited is through maintaining and upgrading professional competence. This happens in part through an unfaltering commitment to inquiry and learning, to self-understanding, and to the development of interpersonal competence. And finally, prudence. Prudence is the ability to govern and discipline oneself through the use of reason. To be prudent is to value judiciousness, discretion, vigilance, moderation, care, and circumspection in the management of one's affairs, to temper extremes, make judgments, and respond on the basis of intelligent reflection and rational thought. I'd like to challenge each of you to be curious, be wrong, and to be better. As we heard, several of us heard last year, Dr. Christy Patton delivered the Slagle Lecture in San Antonio. I challenge you to be curious about practice, research, and education. Be curious about what type of practitioner, scholar, or educator you want to be. Think about what's missing when you work with your clients. As she reflected on a strengths-based model, think about opportunities of how we can facilitate a high-functioning environment for our clients. I'm looking forward to hearing Dr. Mary Lawler present this year's Slagle Lecture next week on the mattering of little things. As we know, those little things that we as OT practitioners help our patients accomplish can be huge things for our patients. So I'm looking forward to hearing that next week with all of you, except a few. These are lofty goals, but they're not unachievable. Set your goal to be the best clinician you can be. Make each contract for care one that will be valued by both yourself and your patients. Live up to the faith and confidence your professional colleagues have in you. I hope that each day will be as rewarding to you as my career as an occupational therapist has been for me. Congratulations and welcome to the profession. So this concludes our Whitecoat Ceremony. We will have a reception following the ceremony and photographs in the MAP building. So if you'll all come to the front, we'll get a group photo, and then you can take individual photos and then just meet us in the MAP building for a reception. So thank you all.